So hello everyone, welcome back to TGIF show today. Okay, so good to see you.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. So today, we've chosen a topic to talk about what might be the challenges if we first try to move out to another country for the first time. All right. So I'm
Yes.
also planning to study abroad in a couple of weeks. So I feel like, I feel a little bit overwhelmed when I'm thinking about that. So I decided to ask you a few questions about that. So,
Mhm.
how did you like, what was the first thing that you worried when you have to study abroad?
All right. So if I have to reinstall about that memory, so what I have to think first would be, um, how could I survive without my
Mhm,
parents' support, right? So because then I have to deport my beloved families and I have to survive alone. That will be the first thing that I have to overwhelmingly think before I try to decide and go and study abroad, right?
mhm,
So that's why for me the most challenging thing would be departing with my family.
mhm.
Yes. I
I see.
think that will be the challenge you have to face alone when you have to be so friendly and so close with your parents and also your sister, also your friend, right? Then when you have to survive in the new environment, you cannot believe the other people.
Mhm,
So even you are an international student, you have to firstly communicate with the local one, and then the way that you cannot understand their culture would be way more difficult than you expected. So my suggestion for you is mm, be friendly and try to be as nice as you can.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that's
Mm.
obviously the first thing you might want to worry about is your family or your friends, right? So you have to be aware with them, you have to leave them behind. So that would be um really difficult for you to move on. And
Mm.
also the fact that I'm also thinking about, how I will survive in a new environment with the people I don't know and with a language I don't
Mm.
speak. Right? So, but usually, so if you can speak English quite well, I think that won't be a problem for you to communicate. But still, if you are planning to go to a third, how to say like, third world country like that, so like
Mm.
Japan or Korea or like that, so you have to at least, be proficient in their language, right? That's a must
Yes.
if you want to go
Yes.
to those kind of countries. And first of all, I think the problem might be with mm, how do I say, with the visa. And also when you go to another country, so there might be you might face with some sort of like weird laws of their own country, right? So which you
Mm.
don't know anything about that. For example, like in Japan, like you cannot pick up phones on a train in the train, right? If you do so, that might seems like you might have to pay a fine for that, right? So those kind of problems you might have to face, I guess. For me, I was also thinking about, before I think like, how what kind of transport should I use, when I got there. But I have to like, worry about that, So and then
Mm.
how should I, handle myself for my honestly for my daily routine, and also how should I plan meals for myself, I was already thinking about every sort of things. So
Yeah.
that might get me, kind of overwhelmed. So, and also the fact that I've heard that people also get homesickness after they have been away from home for too long. So I'm also afraid that, how so other time, how should I, to release that or like that.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of things to, to consider about that. So there might be a lot of
Yeah.
questions as well. Okay. So
I think
yeah.
senpai, we also have to think about the art of living, right?
Mhm.
So we would like to leave our country not because of we went, but because of
Mhm.
the situation that we are facing.
Yeah.
Now we also want to continue our the undergraduate study at the same time. So we have to whether we want or not. At the time, you need to be well prepared for everything that you might have faced. For example, like you mentioned, language. So language can be one of the like biggest threat that you have been ever facing if you are not quite familiar with the local language, right? So even in English language, the way that you have to catch off their local voices can be way more different than we usually hear like in our online classes. So these are the very minor culture shock if you are planning to move to Asia and not even to Europe, Oceania, to North America like US and Canada. Even in Asia, you have to face that types of like the differences. So yeah, hopefully you could be well prepared for moving out to another country. But I'm pretty sure that you can definitely face a lot of challenges and you can go and pass through it. Then you can feel more confident than you used to be because of the achievement that you have been made so far, not only academically but also physically and mentally. So when you have to survive alone, you also have to put through all of your effort to what we so call like to get something done.
Ah.
So when you are sick, you have to be mentally strong. Otherwise, you can definitely miss your parents and your cousin or sibling, whoever take care of you would be definitely someone that you are missing. So that's why at the time, uh, if you're not mentally strong, maybe all of your the physical sickness can even turn out to be a mental breakdown. So then in the long term, that cannot be good, right? So my suggestion for you is when you are moving to study abroad, be well prepared for your mental and physical. I know you can. Um, and also, yeah, I think mental and physical health can be one of the most important things that you have to prepare so far. So that's why we have to do so many medical checkup before going there, right?
Mm.
So yeah, I think you can go through it. So yeah.
Ah, I see. Mm. So like when you speak of the European countries or like Canada's or US or those kind of countries like that. So
Mm.
um so that do you think those types of stereotypical racisms or some sort of discrimination still exist? Like have you ever been, treated as one?
I I have to say some of my friends are coming from Canada and US as well. And I have already been speaking with my landlord who is steady in Canada. So the way he speak to me was like, yeah, some mode of like transport how do we say like discrimination can happen in
Mm,
every part of the world, right? So it also depends on the people. But we have to know very clearly. So the way we try to do everything can be very um like can be mostly distinguished when we have to compare with other people from North America, like
mhm,
US and Canada, European. Uh so like them, so we cannot do anything. So in compared to body shapes, we're very different. At the time, you can be very, like transparent to their side that you're coming from Asia. At the time, maybe depending on the people. So if only they are Canadian, if only they are US citizen, if only they are European, we cannot say they are good people, right?
mm,
Depending on their personality, so they can be either good or bad. So that's why I have to say, depending on the people, discrimination can be happen
mm,
at anyway, anytime. So if you if you're planning to go there, you don't have to be afraid of this because that can also happen in some Asia country like
mm,
Japan, Korea, even in Singapore. But as long as you are Asian like them, so you're not very different.
mm,
So maybe the way you speak can be different, but anyway, so we are Asian. That's why we can understand each other. Not like it can happen, but not too much like Europe and North America. So in North America, Europe, also US, can happen
Mm,
more than we have to face in Asia. So yeah, but
mm.
we don't have to be afraid because um at the place maybe the law can cover you, the law can protect you, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
somehow.
Mm.
Ah, okay, that's a fact that. Okay. So, mm, so I was thinking like, those kind of discrimination might exist. Even it depends on the people, like you mentioned. Yeah. So it's not
Mm.
just because of they are Canadian, not because of they are Americans or like that, right? So it still exists, right? So it depends on the people.
Stays.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah, that's right. Okay. So, I was wondering, like, like, how long did it take to, did it take you to, adapt, you like, their culture or like their country style? Like, how long did it take for you?
I think for me, I am quite adaptive to whatever they are doing. So because I try to communicate with local people as simply as I can, and also I'm also trying to add so many things from Myanmar people who have arrived here so far. So then
Mhm.
I like to learn more about their culture. Then
Mm,
I think I get equipped with all of their cultures, tradition, the way they talk, the way they communicate within 3 or 4 months.
mm,
Yeah, that was super fast. But I think I can even know everything, whatever they do. So within 3 or 4 months is super quick. But I still have to, like learn a lot more about it. For
mm.
example, the festivals, um, yeah, like this.
Ah, I see, I see. Yeah. And also the fact that,
Mm.
in order to adapt with your culture, I think it also depends on the country you wish to go. So for example, like if you don't like any sort of like, fish or any sort of like seafood, that means it will be a little bit difficult for you to go to Japan, right? In Japan, like they mostly have some sort of, seafood dishes a lot. But there are also some other type of restaurants, but it's kind of rare, I think. So
Yes.
yeah, in order to adapt their food and also their traditional cuisines, I think
Mm.
you should first be able to try to eat those sort of foods first, so that you can adapt that, right? Mm.
Yeah. Maybe I think same time we also have to choose the country that we like to study
Mm-hmm.
based on the like prerequisite you have, and also the thing that you like to do after graduation. All right. So
Yeah.
you can even take the example for study abroad. Like if you like to be permanent resident, then you just rather go to US or Canada, Australia, New Zealand, because their countries, that types of country can recognize you as permanent resident very easily in compared to them. Maybe if you are planning to study in Singapore, we also have to accept the real facts that you cannot get the PR.
Mm.
It is currently impossible right now. So that's why you also have to decide what you like to do after graduation before thinking about like which country you like to study. Maybe I think same time based on our education, we never try to think like um go out of the box. I mean, we never try to think out of the box. Then we usually try to live in our comfort zone. Then we never try to request someone to explain us something about like studying abroad. You can make a lot of mistake when you are doing this. For example, like I said, country you like to go can be cannot be, how do we say that? Like cannot be directly proportional to what you like to do after graduation. At the time, that
Yeah.
might be a big problem because you have to invest that money fast if you are not receiving any types of scholarship. Then you have to pay money, tuition fees, and also accommodation. There are a lot of like hidden fees. So and also it also depends whether you can do part-time job or not. So for example, if you're planning to study in Thailand, we also have to understand you cannot do part-time job. So
Not officially, I
and
mean.
also yeah, we cannot do officially. So like this. It
Mm.
also depends. Yeah. This one
Ah, I see, yeah.
wisely. Yeah.
Yeah, so like when we think about that, like moving to another country is not
Mhm.
a piece of cake, right? So it has a lot of things you have to consider about that. I think it will be
Yeah.
more complex. I mean, yeah, kind of like more complicated if you plan to move to another country with your family all together, like for I want to say to get the PR, to get the like citizenship in the country. So that
Mm.
will cost a lot more, complicated because like at the time you might have to find like I say not just a single apartment, you also have to find a big one to fit all your family members, and also after that your parents, right, they also have to be have to adapt with the like with the country, with the cultures and sort of things like that, right? So that might be a lot of, it might cost a lot to force trouble. So, for
Uh,
me, like, I also like still planning to like study abroad just for me. So I think like, I was always thinking about, to get some sort of like PR, like you mentioned. So some sort of things like that, so that I can work in those countries. So which in turns, I can come back to Myanmar as well, and also which makes me to be able to provide for my family. And if they want to, visit me again, so I want to be able to, kind of provide them the accommodations at the another
mm,
country as well, right? So in order to fulfill that one, so you have to choose your country wisely if you want to, uh, travel or even to study abroad, because
yeah.
like you mentioned, some countries they don't allow to us, to get PR, right? So or the work permit like that. Hmm. So it
Mm,
really important. It's really important to choose the target country and also try to choose it according to your I want to say adaptations like that. Though, if you feel like you can't stand the cold weather, you can stand the like the extreme cold weather, then it will be a bad idea to move to Canada or Finland, something like that, right? So if you cannot
mm,
stand those types of weather changes, so that's why you have to think in every possible way, right? So to move another
that's true.
country, I just like that
I
time.
mean, we still have to think a lot about it before taking into consideration to study abroad. Like you mentioned, the country, whether we can get here or not. So because in order to apply citizenship, firstly you need to be a permanent resident or sometime permanent work permit. So uh like this way, and also you also have to consult very carefully with the reliable agent. So
Yeah.
and you also need to talk with the senior people whether that can meet with your requirement or not, right?
Mm,
Because after doing some mistake while we are studying abroad or moving abroad, it's not as easy as we think to change that, right? I'm
mm,
not sure whether you're super rich or not, but if you're super rich, maybe you can change to another plan.
mm,
But if you are taking a risk, you like to just like find some challenges in abroad, then you also have to think twice or thrice before doing something. Then consult, think, then make a final decision. So that's really important. That can be your turning point. So
yeah.
turning point, yes. Because if you made a very bad mistake, that can turn out you can turn out to be facing with a lot of difficulties. Otherwise, you can also get a very good chance to get
Mm,
PR. Then your family can also get PR then. Yeah.
yeah.
So depending on the country you live, also there are different laws about getting PR. So
Mm, yeah.
we also have to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So to summarize our today's topic, so
Yes.
if you plan to study abroad, and first try to learn about that country that where you
Mhm.
would like to go, and also try to learn about whether you can adapt it or not, and also think of
Mhm.
every possible way. If you wish to stay in that country, so trying to find somewhere like US or UK or someone like that, so to get your citizenship, and also if you plan to study abroad to other countries, and if you wish to come back to Myanmar again, so you can choose other countries such as like Singapore and Japan or as well like that. So yeah, it depends on you. So try to be I want to say um try to learn every single things before you move
Yeah.
on, right? And also trying to find consultations with uh people with I would say like with the agents, with the reliable agents, I would say, if you need
Yes.
help.
Yes. Yes.
And
We
also,
have to.
if you do have some questions or some inquiry that you would like to know, so you can also ask us from our page messengers. So
Hmm.
we will try to answer your questions as much as possible. I think we could, right?
Maybe yes.
Okay. So
Because
yeah.
we also have to discuss with our trustable agent first. I
Mhm.
mean, because maybe depending on the policy that each and every country is supporting, the way that we can understand their terms and condition might be very different, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we will try to answer as much as we can. But you can also try to research more. I mean, here, even though we are summarizing, I have to add one more point, researching. So I think researching something is very valuable to your life.
Mhm.
Before making any decision, you have to research, research, research. So today you can get easy access to any internet, right? So then you have to research everything you want very, like straightforwardly. So then trying to find as many information as you can, then trying to be decisive and trying to be careful. Don't try to be, you know, following your gut feeling. Sometimes following your gut feeling can be good, but not in that case of moving abroad or studying abroad. You
Mm.
cannot trust your gut feeling.
Yeah.
For example, like you really love K-pop.
Mhm.
So then you like to move to Korea. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, right? You also have to think about whether you can deal with their uh culture or the opportunities that you might have after graduation. If you can accept it, go for it. Not with the reason of like loving K-pops or want to see Korean idols. So maybe you can also see by living in another country, right? So that is a very, very crazy decision that you shouldn't have made so far. So that's my suggestion to summarize. Yeah.
Okay. It's all right. So I would say that's up for today. So it took a bit too long.
That's all for today, guys. Very
Uh,
long.
all right
Okay.
then. So guys, so thank you for watching this video till the end, and we are always ready for you to help you to provide you with a um reliable source of reliable informations. And that's why if you want to ask any question, you can just directly message to our page messenger and we will answer it when we are free. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I would say that's enough for today. And please
Now,
like and subscribe to our like our video and also trying to subscribe our channel. So to show us your support, right? Okay. All right, so that's about today. And so thank you everyone. So bye-bye. See you in this video. Yeah.
bye. See you.